thing you can see. Always you have to remember, by increasing temperature, kinetic energy of the particles will increases and they will move far each other or they will come closer ready. They will move far each other. Okay. And by decreasing temperature, kinetic energy will decreases and what is happening? The particles will come closer each other. Okay. So that is the two things you have to note it down, everyone. Now put a statement, very, very important statement. Write the statement. All of you write. The state of matter can be changed by, the state of matter can be changed by the state of matter can be changed by, the state of matter can be changed by changing the temperature, changing the temperature, changing the temperature. What guys? By heating or by cooling? By heating.
Both, sir.
That is what? By heating or cooling. Okay? Everyone? So that is what you remember. So by heating, what will happen, ready? Heating. What will happen? By heating, kinetic
They will move far each other, sir.
particles increases. Particles increases. So particles will move far each other. Okay? Move far
Yes, sir.
each other. Okay, everybody? Now, by cooling, what is happening, guys? Kinetic energy of
Kinetic energy decreases.
particles decreases. And what is happening? Particles will come.
Closer.
Particles move closer to each other. Is it okay?
Yes,
That's
sir.
very, very important. So please, all of you note it down. Now, yeah, Hari.
Sir, and by changing the pressure also, no, sir?
Pressure next, Hari. We are not studying about pressure now. We are studying only temperature now.
No, sir. The state of matter can be changed by changing temperature and as well as pressure, no, sir. By
Pressure,
applying
but
pressure.
presently we are discussing, as we know, that is a two factors, Hari. But presently we are discussing only temperature, correct?
Yes, sir.
We are studying about only the first factor, temperature alone. Once the temperature over, then we'll go back to the pressure. Is it okay? Va?
Okay, sir.
You can see this picture will clearly will give you the complete idea. So solid to liquid, what was to call, Arun Kailash? Heating, understanding, melting we can say. So melting also we can call it as fusion. Next, liquid to gaseous state, what is to call, guys? Heating only. Again boiling. So boiling also we can call it as what is to call, guys? Vaporization. Understand? Same way, gaseous state to liquid state, it is called as cool. Condensation. Again liquid state to solid state, again we used to call it as cool. That is what? Freezing. Is it okay, everybody? Yes, please.
Sir,
Yes,
what
sir.
about gas to solid, sir?
That is, I will say you, Hari. Later we'll study separately. That is sublimation. At last we'll study. Okay, Hari?
Okay.
By the time we will add one more thing to the same picture. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so all of you draw this picture and make it everything. Now this is what it is about all the four experiments. So what is this four experiments indicating? Effect of change of temperature. So actually we are having two things, Hari. Physical state of matter in two ways. One is what? By changing the temperature, by changing the pressure. Yes or no? Now presently we are studying effect of change of temperature. So by increasing temperature, two experiments. By decreasing temperature, two experiments. Totally it is over. Now we will study the one more important concept. So after that we will go back to the next concept. That is what? Second factor. So what you said, Hari, exactly, the sublimation. So after the sublimation only we will go for effect of change of pressure. Is it okay?
Yes,
Understand? So that is. So please all of you write it. Now shall we move to the next concept, guys, everyone? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, next concept which we are going to study is latent heat. So please all of you keep heading latent heat. Keep it like this only and keep heading latent heat. Okay. Now remember my words, 11th and 12th chemistry, more than 1000 times you'll get this latent heat. So by that time you will get the formula also to calculate this latent heat. And now I will teach you what is latent heat and directly I will say the value. Understand, Hari? For each substance, this value is different. Understand? So now later higher classes, we are going to calculate that value also with the help of formula. Is it okay, all of you? Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, what do you mean by latent heat means? Observe very carefully. We know melting will take place every substance different temperature. That point is called as what? Melting point.
Melting
And boiling will take place at particular temperature, boiling point. Condensation at condensation point. Freezing at freezing point. So we know that we made already conclusion. Melting point of every substance is equals to what? Melting point is equals to freezing point. Understand? Same way, boiling point is equals to what, guys? Condensation. For any substance, understanding. So if we'll take melting point is equals to freezing point and boiling point is equals to condensation point. Now let us see what do you mean by latent heat. Understand very carefully. So as we know, when heat is given to a substance, then temperature will increase or decreases. That is what my first question. When heat is given to the substance, temperature will increase or decreases.
Increases, sir.
Temperature will increases. Very good. So when a change of state of substance will take place or not, when temperature is increases, change of substance will take place or not?
It will
Yes.
take place, sir.
Takes place. So you tell me from this picture, temperature is increases. What state to what state it will change? Anyone?
Solid to liquid and liquid to gaseous.
Yeah, very good. Solid to liquid or liquid to gas. Now here if you'll notice it, if you'll observe very carefully, when heat is given to change the physical state of a substance, there is no rise in temperature of the substance. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when you have given heat to the physical state, to change the physical state of a substance, means from solid to liquid or liquid to gas, okay? But there is no rise in temperature of the substance. Why means? Let us discuss what will happen and everything. Now, first of all, what is our concept? Next concept we are going to study? Latent heat.
Latent heat.
What do you mean by latent heat means? Observe, whatever the energy, heat is a form of energy or not? Please respond. Heat is a form
Yes,
of
sir.
energy or not? So if we take heat, whatever heat we are giving, this is a form of energy. So whatever the heat energy, understanding, which has to be supplied to change the state of substance is called as its latent heat. Do you understand, Hari? Understand? So whatever the heat energy which we are supplying, which we supply to what purpose, guys? Which we supply to change what? Supply
A matter.
change,
State of matter.
to change state of matter. State of matter is only we used to called as what? Latent heat. Understanding, everyone? For example, see, water is 100 degrees Celsius. So at 100 degrees Celsius means, do you know it? What is the water latent heat? Around, you can see 3.34 into 10 power 5 joule per kilogram. That much heat is we have to supply. Do you understand, Ra? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I will say you clearly what is the unit of latent heat and everything. So if we are supplying the less than that heat energy, for example, let me take you people answer me. So when the water will become gaseous state, liquid water, at what temperature? Liquid water
100 degrees
100 degrees.
it will convert it into gas at 100 degrees and as well as above 100. Is it yes or no? 100 and above.
Okay.
Now, at this temperature, definitely a huge amount of heat energy will be absorbed. Yes or no, guys? Heat energy
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
is absorbed by the water particles. Is it yes or no? Absorbed by particles
sir.
of water. Now, for example, Reddy is keep on heating the temperature, or let me take girl Vartini is keep on heating the temperature only at 80 degrees Celsius. Is it possible to convert into gas? She has been using 10 hours also. 10 hours she is used to only boil the water at 80 degrees Celsius. Is it possible to convert into gaseous state?
No, sir.
No. So even though if you heat 10 days at 80 degrees Celsius, still what is the temperature of water? 80 degrees only. So still it remains in which state? remains in
Water liquid.
liquid state only. Do you understand, everyone? Yes,
Yes,
please.
sir.
Sir.
At the 100 degrees Celsius and above, it will be reached to its latent heat. That is what the maximum heat energy required, understanding, to change state of matter is only which to called as latent heat. Any doubt?
No,
Understand?
sir.
So that is what. So now if you notice it here, so that is what you can see. This whatever the energy is needed to change its state of matter, it may be like that is what increasing temperature, rise in temperature. So that is what we used to call it as latent heat. So this latent heat does not rise the temperature. Please kindly remember, at that particular temperature only the substance will start changing. At what temperature water will converting into gaseous state, guys? What temperature?
100 degrees Celsius and above.
So
100 degrees.
at that time also, suppose see Hari, if I'll keep on heating 100 degrees Celsius for 10 hours, is it possible to convert into gaseous state? No, understanding. So it must be at 100 degrees Celsius, it will start boiling. Purima, till that it will be keep on observing the energy. So the temperature will keep on increases. Once it will reach to the 100 degrees Celsius, then no rise in temperature. Do you understand, everybody? No rise in temperature. So by that time, what will happen? Instead of rising temperature, the bonds will break. Are you curious? Are you understand, everyone? Clear? So the bonds will break.
Yes, sir.
That is what the intermolecular forces will start breaks. And during that time also we are heating. Yes or no? That heat only we used to call as, what is that heat? Latent heat. Understand?
Latent heat.
So once the bonds with the force of attraction will breaks only, it will be converting into solid to liquid or liquid to gas. So that energy where once it will reaches to the boiling point or melting point, so from that temperature, no rise in temperature of the substance, only it will concentrate on change in state of matter. So that temperature, whatever at that temperature, whatever the heat energy of your body, so that is what we used to call as, what we used to call? Latent
Heat.
Okay,
Latent
so
heat.
that is what. So from that we can say, is it latent heat will help to rise in temperature? No, it will never
sir.
allow to rise the temperature. Is it okay, everyone? So with the experiment, I will
Yes, sir.
say so that you can understand. So this is what you have to remember. First definition, you write latent heat. Latent heat. The heat energy which has to be supplied. The heat energy which has to be supplied for what purpose, guys? What purpose will supply? To change the state of matter or to change the state of substance, the heat energy which has to be supplied, the heat energy which has to be supplied to change the state of a substance, to change the state of a substance, to change the state of a substance is called its latent heat. Is called its latent heat. Is called its latent heat. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, latent heat does not rise the temperature or increase the temperature. Latent heat does not rise the temperature or increase the temperature. But what it will do, guys? That energy, what it will do? It will supply to change the state of substance. Do you understand? At that understanding, once the temperature becomes melting point or boiling point, once it will reaches, so by that time, the energy will never useful to increase the temperature. It will be useful to what already? It will useful to break the substances. Understand? Break the bonds between them. That is what helping understanding to change the state of matter. So that is why, have you noticed it? What do you mean by the latent? Anyone? Latent meaning, latent heat I am saying. Latent means what you know? hidden energy, and hidden, we can say hidden heat is only called as latent heat. Okay, because it is not helping to rise the temperature. Yes or no? So that is what we used to call as hidden, HIDDEN, hidden temperature, we can say. So hidden heat only we used to call as latent heat. So this latent heat will undergoing what, guys? Undergoing the change of state. So it does not shows the presence by rising the temperature. That is why it is called as latent heat. Is it okay, guys? Everyone understanding? Latent heat. Latent heat is not understanding increasing the temperature. What it is doing, guys? It is not increasing temperature. It is only undergoing what? Undergoing to change the state of matter. State of matter. So what is that matter, Gokul? Maybe a solid to liquid or liquid to what? Liquid to gas. Purima. Now, remember, this latent heat we are classifying into two ways now. That is what? One is solid to liquid, we'll call it as some name. Liquid to gas, we'll call with some other name. So that is what you can see. So if it is latent heat is converting solid to liquid. What is that, guys? Solid to liquid. Understand? So the latent heat, that is called as latent heat of fusion. What do we used to call, guys? Latent heat of fusion. So it is helping to, latent heat is helping to convert which, guys? Solid to liquid is called as latent heat of fusion. Fusion means what? We already know. Melting. Okay. Same way, liquid to gas. Liquid to gas, what we used to call boiling, we can say. Boiling also another point, another name. What is another name of boiling? Another name of boiling. Vaporization. So that is what we can say. Latent heat of vaporization. Okay. So this is what. So latent heat is how many types?
2 types.
Understanding. Solid to liquid is called as latent heat of fusion. Liquid to gas is called as latent heat of vaporization. Okay. Now the most important point regarding latent heat, it will not allow the rise in temperature. What it will do, Gokul, main function, what it will do? It will supply the energy, understanding, to the substance so that it will overcoming the force of attraction between the particles of a substance during the change of state. That is what exam also they will ask you. Why we cannot observe rise in temperature once the temperature reaches to the boiling point or melting point? That is what latent heat we can say. So why latent heat cannot rise the temperature, guys? Anyone? Because latent heat will never involving in change of state or rise in temperature. It is only will supply the energy to overcome the force of attraction between the particles. So during when? During the change of state. Understand, guys? So that is the reason why it is not increasing the temperature. Okay, Harry? Very, very important one. Okay, that point you write it, please. Latent heat which we will supply, latent heat which we supply, latent heat which we supply, latent heat which we supply is used up in overcoming the, is used up in overcoming the force of attraction between the particles of a substance, when, guys? During when?
Change of state.
That is what? Substance during change of state. Are you clear, everyone? That is what. So, based upon change of state from solid to liquid or liquid to gas, we used to called as, this is called as what? Latent heat of fusion, and this is called as latent heat of fusion or melting, and this is called as what? Latent heat of vaporization. Okay, now let it be. So this is all two types of latent heat. Now in our tomorrow's class we'll study what is the experiment to convert latent heat of fusion. That is what do you mean by fusion? Ready, Gokul, Arun, Kailash? Fusion means what? Converting solid to liquid change. Same way, we are going to study the next one. That is what? Latent heat of vaporization. That is what we can say. Liquid to what, guys? Liquid to gas exchange. That is what we will do it. So after that, tomorrow's class we'll study what is the direct converting from solid to gas and as well as gas to solid. That is what we used to call it as sublimation. So which we'll study in the last concept of this chapter. Is it okay, everyone? Yes, a lot of things are there still. Next, the effect of change of pressure also we have to study. So that is all about today's class. Hope you all understand. Everybody, any doubt, guys? Please, if you have doubt, please let me know. If not, so the latent heat of fusion, and what is the second one, guys? Latent heat of vaporization. Both we will study in the next class. So thank you all of you. Bye. We'll meet in the next class.
Thank you, sir.